Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, welcome back to Reframe Mindset podcast. My name is Concept Brooks. And this episode will be next aspect of the business science and stuff will be like the exit interview and survey. Cause that was the last aspect of it. That was the last aspect of it, along with the last pay that you get when you leave the company. And that would basically be the normal business cycle. But there's more intricacies into it. I guess I understand the importance of that. And then not only that, as an employee, what I understand is to actually leave, how to understand to leave on a good note. Because what I realized, once I left was like there's a lot of companies will be there's a lot of companies that are the same. Like a lot of um cost companies in the industry that I actually was in or in the job that I was in. And then what happened is that I can't tell. I've been to a second one yet. But I guess what if I maybe going to a next one, the the formulary or the things will be somewhat the same. Only thing that there will be a difference in pay or such. And so what I kind of learned from this was I actually went in the right mindset. In the right mindset, is better to actually make a good impression. If you start a job you don't like, just go ahead and make a good impression, because you never know. You may actually need to go back to that company, and then not only that, there could be upgrades to that company. Like the reason why I left, it was not something bad. It just a fault that I recognize in myself, and I said, okay, it makes sense for me to basically exit and work on that fault on myself. And I never know. I maybe want to go back someday. For for example, maybe it could be that I started the company and never liked the idea of it because I work on my weaknesses. But eventually I started to love that company. But I was still weak in the area. So eventually, boom, I would be removed. But if I actually build a good rapport and such, when I actually say, okay, I got removed and I retired, if I basically work on that aspect, eventually I could say, okay, I could come back. And then because I actually was built a good rapport, I've come back more better in that area and then able to actually come back and then progress faster, progress even faster than I was when I started. So that's basically so what I understand. That's basically the importance of the importance of the exit interview and the surveys and stuff would be for me, the employer, to get an understanding as to why the employee left and such. So I kind of have like a record of it, so that eventually, boom, you, you can actually have a understanding to say, okay, this was the reason why someone left. We could actually work on that so that there's less likely of that reason for a person being need to be exit. There's a next episode that I'm going to speak about that I realized when I was doing that work that would basically solve a lot of problems if I actually start the business of science, in the sense that what I realized was that my weak area was communication, and what happened is that the new department I went to, they want expert, they want they expect a certain level, and I understood that. But what I realized was that they they put in a large effort in one aspect, in preparing you for one aspect of the business, but they um is that they blindly expected something else from the other aspect of the business. And what I realized was that if I'm going to start a business, I don't want to actually do that assumption, in the sense that I assume that okay, I just need to actually just do one this side of it, and I expect the employee to be able to actually do this because this is the type of business. No, I don't want going through that experience. I realized that no, that's not the thing. I was actually I have an expectation from when I go into a certain business that this is what they expect. So I might as well do a well-rounded training for that. So that's basically something I'm gonna speak about as well, and that's an important aspect of the business as well. So with that, you know, what I realize is that I have all the tools that I actually need to actually go and implement as a competent business. You just meet that, and then I actually know have a process that there's actually all I just need to do get and register the business, get some money, and then boom, start it up. But so that's basically it. That's what I realized. That's it's not really that basically it, but that's basically the beginning. And then you basically have to learn on the way as well. But the only difference is that I guess I would have to need to have enough for to last a year, last 2 years. So that maybe the first year when I'm going through the the hard road of it, I I have enough for one more year to actually learn the mistakes of the first year to actually implement better steps in the second year, so that I could actually maybe make a profit in the second year to last the third year. So yeah, so with that being said, you never know. You never know. You just see you maybe by 2024 you see a few businesses being popped up by me. You never know, because that working experience kind of give me some understanding of what it's like. You say you never know. You see a few businesses and be like, oh yeah, because actually I took the time. But no, ideally what I would, yeah, I guess I will mention that now. But yeah, that's basically it for now. I guess there's more. There's actually more things as well to the business science as are any business as well. But I guess this is just this for this episode. Yeah, so that's basically for this episode. Thank you for listening. I look forward for the next episode. Mhm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
Job training. Because if you listen to the exit interview and survey episode, this was the episode I'm speaking about that I mentioned. What I realized was that, so one of the reasons why I actually got removed from the department was that the, you know, language barrier. And I understood the situation. But what going through that process, what I realized is that what I would have actually implemented better to actually, because it's a company, what I realized is a company, or it's an industry, I should say, that have a high turnover rate. Because actually, what I think was actually went to another interview after being removed, and I see someone else in the company shirt. That's a, so So it was someone that maybe retired or